welcome to ShakeTube episode 11. Doing another episode with no notes here. I actually read today's play back in high school, so after talking about it that much, I feel like going in depth will give me flashbacks here. So I'm just going to get right into it today. We're talking about Othello.
I had a teacher that pronounced Iago way differently. I'm trying to think of how he pronounced it.
Iago?
No, it was even weirder.
How hard is it to mess up a four-letter name?
Maybe it was like Iago or something.
Iago?
It was weird.
I'm not into
And
it.
I was like, it's not right.
That's just like going with Othello.
Yeah. Like, when I pronounce Iago, I just think of Aladdin.
Yes. Isn't that the same name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Maybe that was where it came from.
For a second, I thought you were saying maybe that's where Shakespeare got it.
Yeah,
I was like-
Shakespeare was so inspired by Aladdin. I actually have a fun addition that Jaimie pointed out to me after the fact. This is a Pulp the Classics series edition, and it has Mr. T on the front, and it says it's some kind of bard ass, and it's gonna end bardly.
Yeah, it is.
Which is totally true. Like I said, this play should be called Iago because he really runs the show here and he screws everybody over. If we had a top 10 list of the worst betrayals in all of Shakespeare, Iago would be the top 9. But Iago was a great villain, and it would be a disservice to take that away from Othello. The first time that I read this, I really wasn't that fond of Othello as a character. I thought that he was kind of pushover, and he was just too jealous, and there didn't seem to be any motivation behind any of his actions. But as I read it this time, I realized there were quite a few reasons. You see so many references here to Othello's skin color, just over and over and over, and that's just a huge theme of this play, is this racial tension, because, spoiler alert, Othello is black, and people aren't that fond of it, which is just really unfortunate in this instance because this is a character that is really subverting a lot of the black stereotypes that you see in literature a lot. He's not any comic relief character. He's not a slave. He is a really successful general, and of course, everyone around him has to bring him down because of his skin color. And like I said, I didn't think that he had a lot of motivation for being jealous at the beginning, but a lot of those different insults to him because of his skin color would really start to make you feel insecure. And that just defines a lot of what happens in this play, is that insecurity because of all this racism. So picking up on that this time, it really added a lot of depth to this play that I just hadn't seen before. And I just remember that this was something that I just cast aside at the beginning. This actually was one of the earliest Shakespeare plays that I ever read, and I don't think that I took it that seriously, and in fact, I was just really surprised that at the end there was a bad ending for Othello. I thought if the play was named after him, he had to have some redemption arc, and boy was I wrong. There's also a really great scene in Act 4 with Desdemona and Emilia where they talk about their sexuality and the fact that a lot of people are angry at Desdemona for the fact that she might be cheating on Othello, and she obviously is not. She's a very pure character, and in this conversation you see that she never even thought of it. She would never think of doing anything like that. But when she talks to Emilia, Emilia's like, yeah, I might do that. We have the same sexual urges as men do. There's no reason that it's more acceptable for them to be more sexually active than we are. And I think that that is just so crazy that that's written in a play for this time because, again, like a lot of subject matters that Shakespeare tackles, it's very progressive for the time period, and reading that entire conversation was pretty cool, and I think it would be empowering to a lot of women that would see the play at this time and anybody that saw it in any of the subsequent showings in the future. The story itself, though, is kind of meh for me. I don't really like the whole jealousy angle, even though it does reveal a lot of these other themes that are really great to get deeper into. I just think having an entire play devolve into this guy gets jealous and he ends up killing his lover because of false information. I think that a villain like Iago deserves a lot more. If there's somebody that can be that persuasive and that manipulative, I think that he could really take the reins in a more complex story than this. Like I said, the themes are very complex, but the story itself is not. And so I kind of wish that he would be revisited later, but obviously things didn't end so well for him here. And so with that, overall, it wasn't a terrible play for me. It wasn't really even a bad play for me. It just didn't reach a lot of the heights that a lot of the other Shakespeare plays I've read so far did. And so at the end of ShakeTube ranking that I'm going to be doing, which I am foreseeing will be pretty controversial, I don't think that this will be in the top of the list, but I'll be curious to see where that ends up at the end. So yeah, I think that's it for this week. Like I said, with some of these plays that I've read before, I don't really want to get that deep because those flashbacks to high school, man, not the best.
But this play was so fun. We fought with swords.
This play was fun. We did fight with swords, and I'm pretty sure I got to kill somebody.
Yeah, I think you did.
Maybe those are the flashbacks. And so yeah, that does it for this week. We will be looking at King Lear next week, and we are officially in the final third of ShakeTube, which is crazy. I feel like I'm kind of limping to the end here. I'm still really enjoying it, but reading Shakespeare over and over is quite the task. But it's been a good one so far. I'm excited to get to the end. I hope you all too. Thanks for following along so far, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. See you next Friday.
Nice.
Boom!
You did it.